How do you safely do laundry when someone you live with is sick? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to clean and disinfect your laundry according to CDC guidelines. Keep watching. If we're just meeting, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach traditional homemaking for today's woman. But every now and then, my community nursing role overlaps with my homemaking role, and today is one of those days. So if you want to learn more about the art and science of homemaking, subscribe and double tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. We are back in the laundry lab, and today's topic was raised by a viewer who was concerned about how to safely do the laundry for someone who's sick. Well, I've got 3 tips for you. Tip number 1 is to isolate the laundry. Just like you've got the person isolated in another room, you'll want to isolate the clothing of the person who's sick. Put it in a separate laundry basket or hamper. You could even put a liner in the hamper, like a trash bag or something like that. The important thing is to keep it separate from the rest of the family's laundry, just so you can avoid cross-contamination. Use disposable gloves to handle the laundry. If you don't have disposable gloves, then wash your hands for 20 seconds after you've handled the laundry. Sort laundry as you normally would, according to textures and colors and that kind of thing. But if the person is sick, try to put them in pajamas or a uniform sleepwear so that you don't feel compelled to do a lot of sorting. Tip number 2 is to wash the clothing or the bedding on the hottest cycle possible according to the manufacturer's instructions. That means you're going to need to check the garment label. And when you put the clothing in the washer, just put it in. Don't shake it about, because you don't want to spread germs into the air and then spread the source of the contamination. Just put the clothes in the washer. And according to the CDC guidelines on how to clean and disinfect soft, porous surfaces like clothing, you can wash the sick person's clothing with other family members' clothing, because once it comes out of the wash, it'll all be clean. Now let's talk about laundry products, because the elephant in the room is the coronavirus or COVID-19. And what people want to know is, what can I use to disinfect my clothing that's effective against the COVID-19? Well, the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, has a website with a list of products that are effective against COVID-19. I will link it below in the description box so that you can check it out for yourself, but I will tell you what I found and what products I happen to have in my house. Chlorine bleach, like Clorox, is probably the most common disinfectant that most people have in their homes. Keeping in mind that cleaning removes most bacteria but does not kill them, that sanitizing removes most of the bacteria and kills many of them but not all, and disinfectants kill all the bacteria, so your chlorine bleach, like Clorox, is a good choice for a disinfectant, but it may not be the best product to use if your clothes are not color fast. It's a bleach. Bleaches cause colors to leach out or to run. So if your garments aren't color fast, you may have some problems with it being color safe. If you choose to use bleach, like Clorox, add it in the wash cycle in your bleach dispenser if your machine has a bin for this purpose. Don't pour it directly on top of your clothing. It needs to be diluted. If you don't have a bleach dispenser, then pour it in the water once the washer has filled up. But it needs to be poured into the water. It should not come directly in contact with your clothing. So how much Clorox do you use? Well, I have the Clorox regular bleach with ChloroMax technology. So I called the consumer hotline at Clorox to find out, exactly how much to use because I wanted to make sure I was providing correct information. And what I was told was for standard washing machines that I should use 1/2 cup in the wash cycle, or if I have an HE or high efficiency machine which uses less water, then I should use 1/4 cup in the wash cycle. Now, the caveat is that the bleach needs to be in contact with the clothing for 10 minutes. So you want to make sure that your wash cycle is for 10 minutes. So if you're unsure about the wash cycle, then set your machine to the soak cycle, put the bleach in using the dispenser, or when it fills up, put it in the water and then let it soak for 10 minutes and then wash as usual. If you don't have a soak cycle, then let your washer fill up, put your bleach in, and then stop the washer for 10 minutes and then let it resume washing as usual. Now here's something else to think about. Different bleaches may have different concentrations, so you want to make sure that you are following the recommendations on the label for how to use the product. Now here's another product that I found useful against COVID-19. It is a fairly new product. It is the Lysol laundry sanitizer. It contains 0% bleach. And whereas it has 0% bleach, it does have other chemicals in it that makes it effective against the coronavirus, one of which is quaternary ammonium. Not ammonia, but quaternary ammonium. So this product, which is billed as a laundry sanitizer, which you use in the rinse cycle, was added to the EPA list in on March 19th. And it stated that this product is effective against the coronavirus when used as a laundry pre-soak. So I called the Lysol consumer product line about this product because I had a question about how much product to use. Now, this particular product is billed as a laundry sanitizer, and it suggests using 2 capfuls of the sanitizer solution in the rinse cycle, and that the clothes need to be in contact with the rinse cycle for 16 minutes. It's not a laundry detergent booster, so it doesn't go in with the detergent at all. It's supposed to go in the rinse cycle. But on the EPA list for products effective against the coronavirus, it says to use this as a laundry pre-soak. So what I wanted to know was how much do I use in a laundry pre-soak? Because to disinfect, the label says put the 2 caps in a gallon of cold water. Well, my pre-soak in my washing machine uses more than a gallon of cold water. So I wanted to know if I needed to use more of the product or not. And what I learned was that no, you would still use the same amount. Now here's what she said. If you've got a standard washing machine, then you want to fill the cap full to line number 1, which is the higher line, and use 2 capfuls of that in your soak cycle. If you've got an HE or high efficiency machine like I have, then what you would do is fill it to line 2, which is the shorter line, and again use 2 capfuls filled to line 2 in the water in the pre-soak cycle, and then set your machine to pre-soak and then let it soak for 15 minutes, and then you're good to go. So once you get it out of the pre-soak, you would just wash your clothing as usual. So here's the thing. If you just want to sanitize, then you can use it in the rinse cycle. But if you want to disinfect, particularly against the coronavirus, then you're going to need to use it as a pre-soak. Now, what detergent do you wash with? That's the $64,000 question. What detergent do you wash with? And to this date, I have not found any laundry detergents that are effective against the coronavirus or COVID-19. So what you would do is use whatever laundry detergent you normally like to use, and then you would add your disinfectant agent. If you're using a bleach, you're going to add it in the wash cycle. If you're using the Lysol fabric sanitizer, you're going to use it as a pre-soak, and then you're going to wash as usual. The biggest thing to remember is to wash the clothing on the hottest cycle possible, following manufacturer's guidelines, and to use the detergents and the disinfectants in the recommended amounts, following manufacturer's guidelines or EPA guidelines. And the other thing I want to mention is that the oxygen-based laundry products like OxiClean have not proved to be effective against COVID-19. So whereas they may offer some sanitizing or even mild disinfecting properties against other microorganisms, they have not been proved effective against COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And here's something else that I want to mention. Do not use ammonia or bleach in any combination. Why am I bringing up ammonia? Because so many people use ammonia in their wash on a regular basis. Maybe they're struggling with stinky gym clothes or urine odor or a mildew. Whatever the reason, a lot of people use ammonia on a routine basis. However, ammonia and bleach, when mixed together, can create a deadly chemical reaction. So you don't want to mix them. No way, no how, don't do it. So if you're one of those people that regularly use ammonia and now you need to disinfect your clothing, then you're going to have to either use the ammonia or the bleach, but you cannot use both. Just don't do it. Now, don't get it twisted. I am not saying that ammonia is a disinfectant against COVID-19. I'm saying that ammonia is a good product to address odors. It really works well to soften fleeces and blankets, products like that, but it is not a disinfectant that is effective against COVID-19. I just wanted to make sure that those people who use ammonia on a regular basis know that now they can only use one or the other. So add your laundry products as desired, as long as you're following manufacturer's guidelines or EPA recommendations. Once you've got the laundry started, take off your gloves and throw them away. Wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, and then wipe down the surfaces with a disinfectant, paying particular attention to the knobs and the faceplate. We know that the coronavirus can live on hard surfaces for several days, so it's important to do this. If you're using a spray like Lysol spray, wet the surface and leave the spray in place for 10 minutes and allow it to air dry. If you're using a wipe, then wipe the knobs and the door handles carefully, and again, leave it to air dry. Now here's a concern raised by many viewers lately. I don't have that. I can't find that. They don't have that in my area. Well, there has been a problem getting a hold of bleach and Lysol and various cleaning products like that. Here's the thing. Your local stores will restock daily, usually very early, sometimes twice a day. But if you don't time your shopping trip just right, you still may find it hard to get your hands on some of these cleaning products. So that being said, there are other ways to sanitize and disinfect your clothing, probably with products you already have at home. Now, that being said, these products will not be effective against COVID-19 or the coronavirus. You can use 1 cup of white vinegar in your rinse cycle. It's a great product to deodorize and to soften. I have replaced fabric softener when I'm doing a load of towels because it really helps to keep the towels soft and fluffy. If you missed that video, I will link it above with an iCard in the description box below. And it does provide some mild disinfecting properties, but it is not effective against the coronavirus. Borax is another product that you will find in many homes. It is billed as a detergent booster and multi-purpose household cleaners. It helps to remove stains and neutralize odors. It's a whitener, and it has some limited disinfecting properties. It is not effective against the coronavirus. Now, I mentioned this OxiClean laundry detergent earlier, and this is a very nice product. I've used it several times, and I really like the clean that I get when I use it. It removes stains, it cleans, it deodorizes, and it has limited disinfecting properties. It's just not effective against the coronavirus. Now, while I was doing the research for this video, I came across an article called How to Disinfect Clothing Without Bleach. And the article mentioned that pine oil was a good disinfectant. And that explains why Pine Sol has been flying off the shelves, because the pine cleaners that has oil in them can be used as a disinfectant to a certain degree. However, they are not effective against the coronavirus. At least they are not on the list that the EPA has released regarding products effective against the coronavirus. The other thing about the pine oil products is that pine oil can leave kind of a piney odor in the clothing. So you might need to run them through the rinse cycle a second or a third time to make sure all of the pine scent is gone. And pine oil is also toxic to cats. So if you have cats as a pet or pets, then you might need to either reconsider the use of the pine product or just make sure you're following manufacturer's recommendations when you're using that particular product. Okay, so now your laundry's been washed, so now you're going to throw it into the dryer. And you're going to dry it on as high a setting as possible, again according to the garment labels, but as high a setting as possible for as long as possible, maybe about 40 to 45 minutes, because the hot dryer, the heat from the dryer, just provides an extra layer of protection when you're trying to disinfect your clothing. Now, if you live in a climate that you can hang your clothes outside, sunlight is a good source of a disinfectant, but right now around here, nobody's hanging anything outside. Now, for those of you that find your washer and dryer in a shared space, like a laundromat or in a community room at an apartment complex, you're going to want to disinfect the machines before you use them. If you've got disposable gloves, put those on and then disinfect the machines you plan to use. Wipe down the front of it, the handle, the knobs, the whole 9 yards before you use it. So just bring your disinfectant with you and be prepared to do that. And then follow the guidelines that I've already given you about how to wash the clothing. When you get home, wipe down your laundry hamper or your laundry basket. Now here's the question of the day. Are you dealing with someone at home who's sick? If so, what are you doing to manage your laundry, to manage things around your house? Tell us in the comment section below. Some of the best ideas come from right here in the TNT community. So help us out. Let us know what's working for you. And I will link the CDC website, the EPA list in for products effective against the coronavirus, as well as other articles and websites that I use to prepare this video, or information that I think can benefit you in these very uncertain times. Because one of the things that I want you to do is to make sure you are gathering creditable information as you try to sort everything out. So I'm putting the information in the description box below so you can validate or verify anything that I said and go on from there. And if you like this video, you might enjoy my video on how to make homemade disinfectant according to CDC guidelines. And you might also enjoy my video on how to disinfect your kitchen the right way. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I am a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about the art and science of homemaking, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. And before you go, I always talk about the art and science of homemaking. And today, when we're talking about all these chemicals that we need to use in the laundry and what's a disinfectant, and the ammonia and the bleach can cause bad chemical reactions, that's part of the science. It's part of the science that homemakers need to know to keep themselves and their families safe. See you next time.